Thanks very much. Just to introduce Benedict. Benedict worked in Vametco, a vanadium company. He has seen it all. He understands all the processes. I was very fortunate to be drawn into their confidence, to share very painful experiences with them. And then I think it's better to hear it from the horse's mouth. I just participated by representing them, but I haven't been subjected to the processes. I've heard the pains and sufferings. But Benedict Sebone is here, and he can tell it much better than I can do. Many thanks. Benedict.
Good evening, everybody. I would like to thank you for having invited me to your country for this important occasion. I am Benedict Sebone, and I am from South Africa. I am a former worker at Vametco Minerals Corporation that was owned by Union Carbide, and it is now owned by Stratco Minerals Corporation with headquarters in Danbury, Connecticut, USA. Before I continue, I would like to thank the following people for having facilitated my journey to your country. First, I would like to thank the president of Barnard College, Dr. Judith Shapiro, for sending the students to my community. I would also like to thank the Mellon Mays Undergraduate Fellowship and the GE Foundation. I also want to thank Dean Rosalind Rosenberg and Tim Helpin Haley. I understand that this program would not have been possible without Dean Vivian Taylor and Professor Diane Dietrich. Much love to both of you. Alexander, Haley, and Kendra, you will never know how much your research and visit to Brett's meant to all of us. We felt that the world had forgotten us, and then you came to our rescue. As many of you know, the U.S. Consulate denied me a visa last week to attend this symposium. It was because of your letters and faxes and telephones that the consulate changed its position. I want to especially thank Black Star News, Eric Williams, radio station WBAI. Thank you all. I started to work for Union Carbide Vanadium Mine in Brits on the 28th of May, 1979. First as a temporary worker and later became permanent. While I was a temporary worker, I worked in an area that was exposed to extreme heat of degrees ranging between 1,000 degrees to 1,500 degrees Celsius. The heat was so intense that it could melt the killing steel. Not long after I started working full-time, I saw a horrible accident where 2 of my colleagues were critically injured and one died instantly when a concrete slab of magnetite fell on them. Maybe during questions and answers, I could tell you how vanadium is processed. And now my story. In 1986, Union Carbide changed its name to Vametco after the Bhopal tragedy, and to avoid the criticism for supporting the racist regime. I started experiencing terrible effects of contracting vanadium that doctors referred to as bronchitis, and I coughed up blood. My tongue used to turn green. When I worked in the reactor and refinery plants, I developed sores on the skin caused by minute vanadium and carbon particles that penetrated my skin. Sometimes I would wake up and find my white sheets totally blackened by the vanadium coming out of my skin. In addition, my eyes were affected, and I'm still suffering from that effect today. After realizing what was happening to me and seeing my colleagues become ill and die, I became scared that I was also going to die. I became desperate and decided to join my colleagues in demanding improved working conditions and better salary, which management vehemently rejected. At that time, I was earning R8.60, which in today's dollars is equal to $1.25 per hour. Our demand was an increase of R2 per hour for all employees, which would have brought my salary to R10.80 or equivalent to $1.50 per hour. Approximately 360 workers were dismissed. Some are still unemployed like myself. Others are deceased, and approximately 270 are still living miserable lives, but still united and striving for our cause. Numerous diseases are common among workers and communities residing in the nearby vicinities. Chronic bronchitis and eye problems are abound. Workers in extraction plants like the precipitation, reactor and refinery plants develop green tongues. Some experience erectile problems that causes marital splits like divorce and miseries to their kids. Yes, we have long list of deceased former workers. Most of them, their deaths are similar. Lung cancer, kidney failure, liver cancer, and feet problems seem to be the main causes of their deaths, because vanadium powder and its sister chemicals can stay for a long time in the human body, causing irreparable damage to soft tissues that in the end leads to death. The modern ablution facilities were built late when major damage has been caused to workers who used to take their working clothes home to be washed by their children and wives, thus poisoning them without them knowing. During dusty months, magnetite would be carried far by the wind and land on roofs of communities who used to rely on rainwater for drinking and washing purposes. The drinking water was contaminated. The chemicals that were in the water flowed from the plant and poisoned borehole water and killed livestock that drank it. The nearest community of Crocodile Kraal has a large number of young men and women who are now infertile. Many children as young as 3 years old have to wear glasses as the magnetite dust has affected their eyes. The common suffering caused by the same source kept my workers together. We tried and are still trying to find solutions that can bring our suffering to an end. Therefore, unity is the weapon that will help us survive. We approached political parties, community groupings like churches, civil organizations, schools, and youth movements to help us with our plight. They helped us a lot by encouraging us and trying to mediate on our behalf. We were supported by our United States compatriots, for example, Marshal Coleman-Adebayo's group, the No Fear Institute, and the Barnard Student Symposium last summer in Brits. I really want to thank the Barnard College students for coming to our country to do some research of our misery. We are faced with a terrible dilemma of working in a situation that has killed so many of my friends and colleagues, or being unemployed. No one should have to choose between feeding their family or ruining their health for the sake of a job. But that's the situation that we find ourselves in. As a small, impoverished community fighting a rich, huge American multinational corporation, we request your help. Despite our sufferings, I believe that if we work together and commit ourselves to a path of justice and a workplace that is healthy and fair, we can make a difference in the lives of my communities. I firmly believe, as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, we shall overcome. I thank you all.